I was working one time with a guy, he had serious drug addiction. And this was an online session, so I look at him one day and he looks wasted.
Okay.
How many hours did you sleep last night? Maybe 2 or 3. Ugh. Did you have breakfast? Yeah, what'd you have for breakfast? Bag of candy. You going into work a little bit later? Yeah. What do you usually eat at work? Some more candy. I'm like, we need to fix this before we start talking about the meaning of life. There's actually a whole field called nutritional psychiatry. The diet is going to affect your patient's mental health. Ramadan.
Yeah.
People like, I can't concentrate in the prayer. What'd you have for iftar?
Yeah.
You're like all gassy and bloated and you ate like you hadn't seen food in your life.
Yeah.
That's directly affecting your prayer.
Yeah.
Which is now going to affect your sleep. And now you're doing this day after day after day.
Welcome to a podcast with the Strength Dojo. I'm your host, Bilal Khan, coming at you from Dallas, Texas. I am here with Dr. Omar Husain, who is professionally, he works as a therapist, PhD. What'd you do undergrad in?
IT.
IT stuff. Okay. How'd you go from that to psychology, therapy career?
It's a natural transition.
Of course, yeah. It's like I can understand the insides of a machine. Now let me see the insides of a human.
People's brains.
Yeah.
I had decided when I was in college that I wanted to go deeper into Islamic studies.
Okay. So that came first.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that was not a very popular decision.
What are the challenges that needed to be navigated?
So looking back on it, I understand why people are concerned, right? They're like,
It's a career factor, right?
What are you going to do when you come back?
Yeah.
Right. Now, this isn't like, I mean, YouTube was just getting started. Like, it wasn't like it is now where there's opportunity.
Sure. Like what, 2005, 2006?
This was a little bit earlier than that.
Okay.
Maybe
2003?
3, 4, right
Yeah.
around there, right? So, like, you didn't have all these opportunities.
Yeah.
So I understand, like, it was coming from a good place. But I was, that was what I was going to do. So after I graduated, I mean, I'm leaving a lot out of complicated, but
Sure.
I ended up going and studying.
Okay.
Before I left, our local imam,
Yeah.
he was what we call a marriage and family therapist, which is very rare back then. It still is now.
Like a certified counselor.
Yeah. Like he went and he did a master's in counseling.
Okay.
And
I like 4,000 hours type training.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, why did he do that? He said, because people would come to me, and after a while, I was like, I don't know what to tell them. I was like, I can tell them pray and make God, which is important, part of it. But it's like, got people with like drug addiction, serious marital problems. Like,
I remember I was talking to a family counselor, and I asked him like, what are your top 3? And this was like a local person. Mm-hmm. And they're like, it's either domestic violence, drug and alcohol abuse, or like mental health issues, like real, like hard issues, like suicide and things like that.
Right.
It's like, if you don't have these, I don't know if I can help you. But I was like, what about people with like regular problems? Like, I don't know, like you might want to go to like a different therapist, but like, I was just wondering, like, is that the kind of stuff that people like yourself or the imam that decided to seek that, was that what people were going to him for?
So he was getting intense issues,
Yeah.
and he just didn't feel he was qualified to help. So that's why he went to sort of, I guess, learn the science or whatever, to kind of blend it with the Islamic. Because people want to come to someone who has the same beliefs and the same worldview as them.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, you might destroy someone's marriage if you don't know what
was it about him that got you to?
His khutbahs were on point, mashallah.
Okay.
Yeah, like he was talking about things. I think he did a khutbah on like pornography, like 15 years before anybody was, even now when people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
So, and some people were upset, and he's like, okay, where do you want me to talk about it?
Sure.
Like, where else are we going to talk about it? So he just had a way of just conveying a message.
Yeah.
And then when I wanted to go over, I always knew I was going to come back and serve the community.
Yeah.
So I was already going to go that route,
Yeah.
and I came back. So I was just kind of picking his brain before I left.
But when did the mental health come into the equation?
So the trick was I have to tell my family I'm going to do a master's when I come back.
Okay.
Right. So if you have that, maybe you can quell the anger a little bit.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, yeah, I'll do it in,
So basically the study of mental health was the compromise. for pursuing the
It
passion?
was part of like the softening up
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it a vague idea for you, or were you very specific of like, hey, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to study.
So I knew I wanted to study,
Mhm.
but where I was going to go was, I thought
Oh,
I
that
was
was up
going
in
to
the air.
5 different places
Okay.
at some point. So I went to Egypt, basically, this was just before I got married. So basically I was going to go with my wife.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I need to have something that I can tell my in-laws, that's going to work. And
Okay.
also, hey, we're just going there to study Arabic.
Okay.
And that was sort of the,
Sure.
oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
So I went there but that was never the intention, that I was just going to go there for a year.
Okay.
I could already kind of read Arabic before I went.
Sure.
It just got better when I went. So that was kind of initially. And then I went there and I started meeting like people from all over, literally everywhere. I mean, we had like different backgrounds and studied with different teachers, but nobody was like fighting each other. And I found that also in Al-Azhar.
Okay.
It was like, what do you know? That's what we respect. And I found that people were very open to having discussions.
Okay.
And so then we're like, okay, let's...
So how many years did you end up spending?
6 years.
6 years.
6 years in Egypt.
What was your strongest memory of Ramadan in Egypt?
Before iftar, I can still picture the streets. It is just silent.
Okay.
There's nothing. It just doesn't make any sense. Imagine going to Manhattan at like 5 p.m.
Uh-huh.
and there's not a car on the road. You're like,
Oh,
I can't imagine.
okay.
Egyptian traffic is nuts.
Yeah.
People just going everywhere. Just not a soul in sight. So it's very, very calm and
This is like
peaceful.
just as the sun is setting kind of situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very calm and peaceful. And then like going to the masjid or tarawih, it was just so easy because like, just tell them, yeah, I'm going to go pray tarawih and just walk this.
Okay.
You're back in like 10 minutes. You can go to like,
you have a lot of locations.
yeah, there's masajid everywhere. So
Okay.
you can go, like you could go to 5, 10 different masajid throughout Ramadan.
Okay.
Just walking distance. And then it's like everything you're just kind of going all night through Sahur,
Okay.
right?
So is there a very vibrant, I mean, it's kind of weird saying this, but like there seems like there would be a very vibrant nightlife during Ramadan in a good way.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think, and
In a wholesome, non-vice filled.
I think anything you want to find.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And this is different from like the nightlife that would be persistent throughout the year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's still kind of I guess, this is a Muslim thing, like getting up late, which is not the Sunnah way of doing it.
Sure.
Getting up late, starting late, staying up late. That is
Yeah.
kind of the norm.
Yeah.
But Ramadan is just, it's a different flavor.
How was the experience different year over year? I would assume just on the macro, right? Like what happens in Egypt every year is pretty much kind of like how they do Ramadan, right?
Yeah.
But then your perception of it might shift or change as over the course of 6 years, right? And so I'm just wondering like what that looked like.
So initially it's great because you don't have any obligations.
Okay.
You don't have to go do any qiyams. You just go, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
There's no pressure of people coming for iftar. But then after a while, you kind of start missing that.
You complete your 6 years, right?
Mhm.
Did you have a specialization or was it like, how do you qualify your, not qualify, how do you describe what you studied? Like
Yes.
here you major in something, right?
Right. So my college was Islamic studies and Arabic. They kind of took 3 different colleges and combined it. And then outside you would study things you were interested in more depth.
Like elective?
Like fiqh. No, just privately.
Oh, okay.
Because one of the things with
So these are like independent
Cairo,
studies.
yes,
Oh,
is that it attracts people from all over the world just because of
Okay.
the history.
okay.
So you'll study with like a Bangladeshi sheikh,
Right.
because again, it's what you know. Nobody cares, and so that's what you kind of do over there.
While you're in Egypt, you're totally different country, totally different cultural, totally different. What did a healthy lifestyle from a physical aspect look like?
It requires a lot of dedication.
Okay.
A lot of dedication.
What was your approach?
Because
Did you
the
not-
temptations of food,
Sure.
right? So you could like, if you go to the mall, there, you're like, hold on a second, like Applebee's is all halal,
Okay.
right? Like,
Oh, so all the major franchises and companies.
and non-franchise, you're getting European franchises, you're
Okay.
getting Lebanese franchises, and all of it is all good.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So
So you don't
there
have
was-
any real religious dietary restriction now.
no,
Okay, everything's just wide open.
yeah, even now, alhamdulillah, like it's great
Yeah.
here in most major, even non-major cities, like it's really good.
Sure.
But that was just like,
Okay.
man.
But here's a thought. it's all, so the religious restriction doesn't apply because they're in compliance,
Right.
but their food is still probably unhealthy.
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay.
You're still, I mean, fries are fries.
Fast food is fast food.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
got you.
It is what it is. There's no doubt about that.
So take the nutrition side away, right? But what about like the athletics and just the active aspect of a lifestyle?
So they have gyms.
Okay.
There's actually been like, there was an Egyptian back in the day who was like competed for like Mr. Olympia,
Okay.
Mr. Universe.
Sure.
So it's not unknown, and Egyptians have, like, Arabs in general, they have good genes. Like,
Sure.
they want to put on muscle mass, they can put on muscle mass.
Okay.
So it wasn't unknown.
Yeah.
So you could find gyms to work out at.
Okay.
They would have, like certain hours for men, certain hours for women,
Okay.
right? So they were kind of separate like
Yeah.
that. And that's what I did. I tried to find what I could. I even would buy weights, take them up to my apartment and
Okay.
and work out there.
Yeah.
I did try to eat healthy,
Sure.
although I did also enjoy myself. But I also didn't have the same understanding of nutrition
Okay.
that I had after.
Okay.
So, but I was always I was pursuing, and then there would be other guys that, oh, you're working out, and, we go to the gym together and
Okay.
stuff like that. Yeah. Most people didn't, but I did find a way. There were opportunities.
So the pervasive culture there isn't, I guess the general populace isn't like, I guess they're more akin to life in Texas, where heart disease and stuff is at the top.
So the thing is, because of the wealth divide,
Yeah.
most people are not eating like that,
Okay.
right? So the majority of the population is eating like
Stable
bread and,
lentils.
yeah, exactly,
okay,
exactly. So, but the rich
It's
is better.
ironic that the less wealthy you are, the healthier your food is.
Yeah. Here, that's absolutely the case, right? You get like the cheap stuff, right?
Yeah.
But over there, you're eating probably better
Yeah.
because you're just eating just whole, pure food.
What did you do to educate yourself on the nutritional side of things?
So I was always one of those people that worked out like crazy.
Yeah.
I think of some of the things I used to do, some of the programs I didn't see the results I wanted. I never really understood why. And it was because of the nutrition. If you want to lose weight, you cut calories.
Sure.
If you want to put on muscle, you put on, and it seems really simple and easy,
Yeah.
but didn't have even in college, with
Yeah.
all that stuff we did, nutrition was not emphasized. Until I learned that, then I came back and I got to a point, I was like, I'm just going to just work out for general health. I'm never going to get what I want to get.
Okay.
Right. And then I did a program of a friend. He's actually like a celebrity trainer. And I did his program. It was crazy, but I saw results.
Okay.
And the results were because of the nutritional aspect. And I just started diving more into that. And now when I have my own clients, that's what I was telling, like, I wish someone told me 10 years ago.
Okay.
Right. If you want to lose weight, you cut calories.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you want to, like, it's not complicated. So then I started just learning more.
How much of nutritional education went into your mental health training? And I'm prefacing this because anecdotally, I have found that there is a definite difference in my own mental state depending on what I'm eating, how much I'm eating, when I'm eating. I came to appreciate and understand this is when I first moved to Houston. And there were moments where like I'd be really grumpy or upset or easily irritated. And then turned out I was just hungry. It was just like, and it's not even like, oh, my stomach is grumbling. Like, no, like I just forgot to eat that day.
Yeah.
Right. And then have a bowl of Chipotle and suddenly everything is like butterflies and rainbows.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't understand, like, oh man, like, so that's what it is. But, and I know there's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
But I was wondering what it is that you, like, if there's any aspect of that in your training.
It's 100%. As I started just kind of diving, just naturally studying more mental health. It's my field, obviously. I love fitness. And then I started getting into the nutritional impact on mental health. And there's actually a whole field called nutritional psychiatry.
Okay.
And it's interesting because I would listen to some of those doctors who would present, and they're like, 10 years ago, they would laugh at us. The doctors are laughing at us when we're like, no, the diet is going to affect your patient's mental health. Like, what are you talking about? Get that stuff out of here. But there's tons of research to back this up. Like, absolutely what you eat affects your mood.
Yeah.
Right. So I was working one time with a guy, he had serious drug addiction, right?
Yeah.
And this was an online session. So I look at him one day and he looks wasted.
Okay.
How many hours did you sleep last night? Maybe 2 or 3. Did you have breakfast? Yeah, what'd you have for breakfast? Bag of candy. Okay. You're going into work a little bit later? Yeah. What do you usually eat at work? Some more candy, right? I'm like, we need to fix this before we start talking about the meaning of life.
Yeah.
We got to get this guy functional.
Yeah.
Right. So of course you're going to, you're going to crash. You're not going to be in sync. You're going to be out of it. Directly impacts. Right.
Yeah.
If you want to go for like a hard workout, you can eat certain things before.
Yeah.
That maybe you wouldn't eat later.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But just to kind of get that energy. So there's a direct impact.
Okay.
And that's kind of like my whole thing is wellness, right? Mind, soul, and body. It's all connected. Ramadan.
Yeah.
People like, I can't concentrate in the prayer. What'd you have for iftar?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like all gassy and bloated and you ate like you hadn't seen food in your life.
Yeah.
That's directly affecting your prayer.
Yeah.
Which is now going to affect your sleep. And now you're doing this day after day after day.
Yeah.
So there's a direct correlation.
I mean, I think that coupled with the fact that, and now what you're consuming in Ramadan is drastically different than what you're consuming normally. Right. So you have, there's 2 levels of acclimation now that have to take place.
Yeah.
Outside of fasting. What are the things that have made the greatest, had the greatest positive impact in people's mood, brain chemistry, psychology with relation to food?
Yeah. So we want to look at what they're eating.
Yeah.
Right. So generally, higher protein keeps you satisfied for longer, so you don't have hunger cravings, get in a bad mood, right? And looking at calories consumed.
Okay.
Right. Like, how much are we actually eating? We don't know. The serving size, like, it's there for a reason, right? If you follow the serving size, I just had a client yesterday, because I do these plans which kind of have combined this. That's not therapy. Therapy is separate. And he was like, man, I couldn't believe it. I was eating, his calorie intake is supposed to be around 1,700. He's like 900 just for dinner.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's exactly why we're looking and counting these things. So we just consume way more calories.
It's funny how sometimes you'll be like, oh, I just had the 1 bag, and that turns out that bag is like 5 servings.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you'll be satisfied, like, if you had a third of it.
Sure.
Right? We really will. Like, after a point, you don't need that much. But
Okay.
So there's just no idea of how much we're actually consuming.
Okay.
And that just, I feel full, I feel sluggish, I feel kind of out of it. That's why.
Question of navigating, like, you've got your goals, but then it's like the family is not necessarily following the same goals, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, we want our Pepperidge Farm cookies.
That can be a challenge. Now, in an ideal world, everybody would sort of be on the same page.
Sure.
That's challenging, because you've got kids in the house, something like that, right?
And I wonder why the kids are having tantrums.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. When they look at, they've done studies where they switch like the lunches in the schools, right? And they see like improvement in behavior.
Yeah.
Like I said, of course.
Yeah.
So that can be challenging, but at the end of the day, like, if someone's willing to take that step, I find that they're dedicated to really make it happen. It also is kind of what your system is. So, like, my belief in food, I don't believe in like a good food and bad food.
Sure.
But do I have a problem like with chocolate chip cookies? No, I don't have a problem. I have a problem if you're eating a dozen cookies a day. But I don't have a problem if you're within your calorie range and what you're, depending on your goals.
Yeah.
So, it has to do with, because any of us we can go hardcore for like 3 months, right?
Sure.
But it's like, we want to maintain
a lifestyle.
like The Biggest Loser, the show that everybody gained, and
everybody rebounds.
Everybody gained it back. It's terrible, right?
Yeah.
So, but those that are, if they don't feel restricted and they're dedicated, then inshallah they can make it happen. Because we're not telling you don't ever eat this again for the rest. That's depressing. Like,
right.
No, you can. It's just,
I guess it's the question of defining what is moderation.
Yeah. So that was going to depend on the individual and their goals.
How does that play into like things like Ramadan now, like in fasting? I feel like it's even more important what you're eating than outside of it.
Ramadan, well, there's always cultural influences too.
Sure.
Ramadan is even like It's intense. 'Cause
Yeah.
people like they want their samosas.
You can make good
That's what they want.
samosas.
You can bake the samosas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Air fry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can also air fry. But people, so that there's a a level of that. I don't deny that that's not there, and some people just never.
I feel like beef and bread combination is universal. Every culture has a form of that, whether it's an empanada, a samosa, a taco. Like every culture has some form of that. It's just a question of
Preparation, no question about it. Yeah.
what are some shifts that you have seen that have had a major positive impact, shifting away from the importance of maintaining one's cultural rituals.
Yeah, yeah. So portion control,
Okay.
right? So instead of saying I'm not going to eat a single whatever fried goodie for all of Ramadan,
Yeah.
just limit it a little bit. Nobody's saying you can never eat it. Higher protein has really helped, and then staying hydrated.
Okay.
Those things, those have been shifts I've made over the last couple of years that have been significant to just feeling better in Ramadan. So, but generally, I mean, fried foods are, it's not gonna make you feel good. And the quantity, like just relax.
Outside of the religious prescription of fasting, people who engage in the exercise of fasting, when they do it outside of the religious prescription, they do it with a goal in mind. When you tell them, hey, approach Ramadan with a health mindset, right? Like, oh, but what about I'm doing it for religious reasons, right? Now, this is something that perhaps you can shed some light on, right? Whereas my thought has always been, can't you do both?
As Muslims, we're always worried about intention.
Yeah.
Right? Like if the intention isn't there, then it doesn't
just
matter
spoils
what
the
you
whole
do.
thing, yeah.
To be perfectly clear, the goal of Ramadan is to attain taqwa and
Yeah.
get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the ultimate goal. Now, my argument is if you want to maximize that, it's impossible to ignore what you're putting in your body. So it is not something separate. It is part of the process. If you want to have more energy in the middle of the night, then what are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you consuming?
It's intentional eating.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to be not just mind. That's what it becomes. It becomes mindless. Just when I get an opportunity, I'm just going to eat whatever I can.
Yeah.
And that is not building discipline.
Okay.
I mean, if you can control food, you can control anything.
Sure.
Right. If you can just control food, this is a huge challenge for society. Like we can't control the food. If you can control the food, what can you not do in life?
The thing that I found was that I felt like I had a growing sense of impulse control. I don't know if I can pit that directly to caloric intake restriction or just simply from the fact that I'm pursuing something, right? Because if I engage in something now, I'm trading what I want later, right? And so I guess it's a question of like, is it that maybe a lot of the Muslim community, when they engage into Ramadan, when they get into Ramadan, perhaps they don't have a long-term pursuit that they could make that Ramadan as a, I don't know, like what are things that people could do?
No question. If you're focused on something, someone just asked me this the other day, who was going to start a plan with me, and he's like, "What happens in Ramadan?" I said, "We keep rolling in Ramadan, right?" It's okay if in the last 4 or 5 days you're super exhausted and you can't go all out in the gym. That's completely fine.
Yeah.
Right? That's totally fine. You're not going to lose everything you do. You don't need to do very much to maintain what you have in Ramadan. One of my mentors even said that he has made significant muscle gains in Ramadan.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's all about, again, what you're trying to do, but just kind of mindlessly going into it. Like if I told you you're going to be closer to Allah by the end of Ramadan, your question should be, okay, what do I need to do that? Well, part of that equation, a major part is what are you consuming and how you're consuming it.
Yes.
And I mean, if you lose weight, fine, but like you're fasting for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, you're not going to stop working or doing anything else.
Yeah.
So why is this being singled out? It shouldn't be.
In my mind, psychiatrists who prescribe drugs, psychologists who basically tell you what's wrong with you, and therapists who tell you, okay, this is what you need to do. Is that a fair summary of the differences?
It's not too bad, to be honest.
Okay.
Now, of course, there's many psychologists where their goal is not just to tell you what's wrong. They also, will work with you through therapy. Not all of them,
Okay.
but so we definitely don't want to say that they're not.
Okay.
Psychiatrists, you're going to find that less. It is going to be more, but then they also work together.
Okay.
So I'll often have people who are recommended by a psychiatrist,
Okay.
right? Because the pill may temporarily help you with depression.
Yeah.
If we don't understand the reason you're depressed, then this isn't a long-term solution. So the psychiatrist isn't going to know that the reason this guy's depressed is because he was supposed to marry somebody.
So it's analogous to somebody, say, if they're pre-diabetic or even just diabetic and they're prescribed metformin,
yeah,
right, to bring their, I guess, their insulin levels to where they need to be. But then they're also told, hey, all right, so you need to cut out these foods, you need to exercise. Here's a personal trainer that you can get with. They'll put together a program for you, and then come back to me in 3 to 6 months.
Right.
And we'll see whether we need to adjust the dosage or remove it altogether. Right. Is that the same idea?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Integrated work.
As a therapist, you're also working with clients with relation to like physical fitness and nutritional work. Is that separate from your therapist work, or is that kind of integrated?
So in a formal therapy session, it will, depending on the individual, it could certainly be a part of it.
Okay.
But it's not going to be a major focus.
Okay. It's a supplement.
It's kind of a supplement.
Okay.
Right. People will come to me like, "Why are you talking to me about nutrition?" Right?
Yeah.
I came here because I'm anxious. Like, what do you? So
it's like, how much caffeine did you have today?
Yeah. Right. So it's a part of it. That's one thing. And then I started doing where it is fitness, nutrition, but not hardcore therapy, but we can still work on, things to make you mentally stronger and then spiritually as well.
Okay.
So that's how I've kind of separated those two things.
Okay.
Because everybody that comes for therapy, it's not, I don't hold the opinion that like something's necessarily broken.
Okay.
Sometimes it can be used just for personal growth.
Okay.
Or to work towards something, like, I don't know how to achieve this. It doesn't mean that we have to diagnose you with something all the time.
From a therapy standpoint, like people might look at a life coach. How much of that is relationships?
Relationships are everything.
Okay.
Yeah. There's very few people in the world that they don't have a relationship with somebody that's affecting their life.
Okay.
And if they don't, that's probably the problem. If they just come in like, I don't have any family, I don't have any friends, but I feel down all the time.
Let's start there.
Okay. Let's work on that.
Okay. Yeah. So how much of what you do in therapy is also coaching?
Yeah, so that's a great point. So we're raised sort of as a society on what we call the medical model, which is, if it's broken, let's fix it.
Sure.
Right? And we're not going to start talking about health insurance, but that's basically, there's no preventative health insurance. Like, come to me when you have diabetes.
Okay.
Right? It's like, I'm on the borderline. Yeah, but we can't do anything.
Okay.
Right? So a lot of people, they have that perception, like, okay, I'm going to go, something's broken, I need you to fix it. We operate more on what we call a wellness model.
Okay.
So we will set goals together, which immediately people, they're like, that's weird, because if I have hypertension or diabetes, the doctor's going to tell me what to do. It's like, no, we're going to work together on this. What goals do you want to achieve? Reduce your anxiety, for example, get over this addiction, so on and so forth. And then we're going to set them together and work together. We're kind of working together. It's not necessarily always me just sort of telling you what to do. And that's weird for people to adjust to.
Sure.
And kind of get used to it.
I used to do coaching for like the strength training stuff.
Yeah.
And people sometimes think, because one of the things I had to clarify is like, look, this is not a fat loss program. I can help you get stronger. But then they're like, oh, but I also want to lose 15 pounds, wherever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? And then a lot of times because I'll look better. I'm like, but why? Right? I'm wondering how much of that, I know like that, like usually when somebody comes at me, like, I'm like, look, I'm not your guy. Come at me if you want to be able to throw somebody down and keep them down. But like, but in your case, like, does that come, and do you ask a lot of like I call it a sourcing question in terms of like, what's the reasoning behind your whatever it is that you're looking for? Like, because setting goals is like, it's all, I guess, an individual's action or application or implementation of what the sessions are about will be only as good as the reasoning for the goal, right?
Yeah, so this also goes back to therapeutic approach,
Okay.
right? Some people are really into like, let's dive really deep into this. Others are not.
Okay.
Others are more kind of like, I just want to do this, this, and this. So it goes back to like the personality.
Oh, so you gotta tailor it or shape it around who you
Yeah,
are. Okay.
yeah. I've definitely found over the years, you can't, one approach just doesn't work for everybody. Like I work with a lot of teen clients.
Okay.
They don't want to be there. They look at you as an extension of like, my mom is making me go and see this person.
Any parting advice for folks coming into 2, maybe 3 things to take home?
Okay. Number one, you got to have some goals, and goals require planning. So if you're just kind of going in, you don't know how much Quran you're going to read, you don't have a schedule of when your wife's going to go to Taraweeh and you're going to go and how you're going to coordinate that with the kids. You need to have all this figured out before the month starts. So you need to have goals, spiritual goals, you can have physical goals, and be easy on yourself, right? Because it's not the same as outside of Ramadan, but you have to have some planning. And I say this every year, and then people are like, I've been going 30 Ramadans, and it's like, okay, well, maybe that's...
How's that going for you?
Maybe that's the problem. Right? You have to, there has to be so plan something, have some goals, right? Number 2 is try to do it as family units as much as possible.
Okay.
Because that just makes it easier whenever you're in a group, right? So, all right, this year we're all just gonna, we're gonna eliminate, whatever, soda at dinner time, whatever the case may be. It's just easier when everybody,
everybody kind of agrees to.
Yeah, like everybody's on the same team, and then you start, pushing each other and stuff like that. And then the third is, don't neglect your physical self, because that is directly connected to your worship, to your spirituality. And if you don't take care of that, then the crashes, the lack of being able to concentrate, feeling bloated, it's all related to that. So don't neglect that.